It's time Black Americans start taking their place in America as hosts and not visitors. For too long, Black Americans have been treated like visitors in a land their ancestors built. Come on. Every brick, every road, every law, every dream touched their sweat, their tears, and their hands. But somehow, they are still made to feel like outsiders. They told them to go back where they came from. But the truth is, they never left. They've been in America since the foundation. Since before America even called itself free. Their labor built it. Their blood redeemed it. And their culture shaped it. And yet, they still have to fight for peace, fight for space, to fight to be seen. But God says, that time is over. It's time Black Americans stop moving like guests and start standing like hosts. Yeah. Hosts don't beg for seats. They sit at the table. They even set the table themselves. Hosts don't wait for permission. They create opportunity. Hosts don't hide their identity. They lead with authority. This nation has reaped from their pain for generations, and now it's time to reap from their power. The same way Joseph was brought into Egypt as a slave, but rose to rule. That's the story of Black America. They are not here by accident. They are not there by assignment. And when you are assigned, you don't apologize for existing. You walk in purpose. God is shifting things now. The world that mocked you will now need your wisdom. The system that ignored you will call for your solutions, because the hosts have finally realized this land would have no heartbeat without them. So stop shrinking, stop apologizing, stop asking for space in the house you built. You're not a stranger, you're not a visitor, you're the host. And this time, you're not handing back the keys. Do you understand that? Anyways, let's just watch these few videos. I'll be back. Do not forget, credit to those, creators. I'll be back. Please keep watching.
Alright racists, we're going to address this again since the inferior people are struggling. Black Americans are the only indigenous people on this land. Melanated people are the only people around the world who are indigenous on every land, no matter their ethnic group. Uncivilized lands all have the same genetic connection, melanated skin with varying shades of brown. And those groups are not connected to Africa, just like Black Americans aren't connected to Africans ethnically. The actual American Indian, known as the Black Americans, are the ethnic group of North America, not descendants of Africans. Let's dismantle the greatest public relations fraud ever committed, the desperate multiracial campaign to erase the true indigenous Black American from this land. There is a coordinated effort, a relentless lie, designed to make Black Americans believe they are a guest in someone else's house. But the unchangeable archaeological and historical truth is that Black Americans are the foundation. They were here first. And by here, I mean the world. Every country. Every strip of land. And they built the civilization that we are all destroying. The lie about Africa is to confuse and mislead so that the theft can keep going on. Black Americans weren't even considered African American until 1988 by Jesse Jackson, a known Cherokee Indian. So they'll pay a Black American leader to lie and sell out, while classifying himself correctly despite the lie. If Black Americans came from Africa by boat in the 1600s, America didn't figure this out until 1988? And this isn't just a white lie. This is a lie woven by $5 pretendians, by secret treaties between immigrant groups, by decades of policy and propaganda all aimed at one single goal: convincing the world that the original people of this soil simply do not exist. They have every story in the world about the false history. And then you ask for ship manifest and evidence of ships, and then suddenly they can't produce them. But they could show you evidence of the Titanic hundreds of feet under the ocean. They won't even show you the entirety of the Titanic under the water. Only a corner of this ship. They still parse that history. They have reclassified the true indigenous people, renamed you, and redrawn maps around you, hoping you would forget the land your spirit is made from. Now they deploy their little native influencers online, armed with fraudulent petitions and digital picket signs, begging platforms to remove you from your own story. They are performing a pathetic pantomime of indigeneity. If you are indigenous, why would you need outside help? What are they protecting? If you're truly indigenous Native Americans, how could someone take that from you? Why the sudden panic? Every post they make, every petition they circulate is an admission. You've been caught, and now history will be made. Every other race are the visitors. It is time, Black Americans. Time for you to start acting like the host in your home, because all of this is yours. It is time you start acting like the host.
Scared. Last time I checked, Black Americans are the strongest groups of blacks in the whole world. We undefeated. Yeah. And take it from where? We are the indigenous people of North America. We not from where the hell you from, square ass jit. And even when they did bring that small portion of Africans to America, that still doesn't erase the fact that we've been putting belt to ass since 1526. Holding that shit down for real, not only against one great nation, but 7 great nations. It get like that. You better go ask President Andrew Jackson and some of his unalived homies. During the Florida Seminole Wars, he said this was just as much as the Negro War as it was the Indian War. One of the longest and hardest wars fought on American soil. 41 years plus, out there thumping. Other groups of people went through colonization and couldn't bounce back. We went through colonization and became superstars, world leaders and icons. We're the richest groups of blacks in the whole world. Think of Black Americans like the 1995 Chicago Bulls. The only difference is we didn't stop. We kept that shit going and going and going. Now the rest of y'all didn't even make it to the playoffs. Anyways, whatever y'all boys do, make sure y'all stay up top, man.
We the reason America. Not just with the Civil War, brother. Let's go before the Civil War. Let's go to the Louisiana Purchase. Do you know that this country is 3 times the size it was? Because the Haitian Revolution went to Saint-Louis Overture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Christophe and Pétion and Cecil Fatiman and Boukman and Macandal, when they destroyed Napoleon's army, a slave army, defeated the greatest general the white man ever had. Right. An army of slaves defeated the greatest general the white man ever had. And because the Haitian Revolution bankrupted Napoleon, he sold his American territories to America for pennies on the dollar.
I remember that.
The Louisiana Purchase loan quadrupled the size of the United States of America. So when I tell you America wouldn't be America without black people, America wouldn't be America without black people.
That's a fact.
Black power. Black power. Imagine being the richest and wealthiest group of black people on this earth, on this planet, and still complaining about being a victim. And if you watching this video do not understand that statement, no worry, let me clarify for you. Black Americans are the wealthiest black people on earth globally. If you compare the average black person in America to the average black person in any other country in the world, the black American has a higher probability of having more money. So yes, I did not stutter. Black Americans are the wealthiest black people on earth today. Yet still, you always see people in America complain about being a victim. Black people, to be specific. And it makes you ask the question, you know, like how about you stop being a victim and just make better choices? Like that would work. Make better choices. Yeah. Y'all don't think that would work? There is nothing in America right now holding black Americans back. There's no law that has been passed that, you know, gives the white man the benefit over a black person. In fact, I would say it's the opposite. If you're black, you can get into schools with lower test scores. You can say things that white people cannot say and not get reprimanded for it because you're black. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And at times, it's actually so sad. I won't even lie. Like, it's actually very sad that people still find a way. Black Americans still find a way to play the victim. Because this victim mentality has caused such a defeatist mindset in certain parts of the black community. And it's very evident. Like, it's very obvious. It's not even something that they're trying to hide. Like, it's wide open in public. However, there's still black Americans who still subscribe to this ideology that they are the victim, even though they are the wealthiest black people in the world. Imagine it, like, just think about that for a second. Imagine being the wealthiest kind of your race. Like, out of everybody in your race, you're like everybody else in every single country in the world, your race, the chosen race, right, is the richest, it's the wealthiest. Yet still, you still find a way to make yourself the victim. That's insane.
Hello. So, alright. I found it where it says black Americans, ancestors of slavery, are the 144,000. Okay? It's in Revelation. I'm sure it's other places too, and I'll find those, but right here in Revelation 14, it says, okay, now this is after the beast has its reign. Okay, this is the 144,000. This is them coming back in terror. Okay. Let's see. I'll start here. 14:3. And they sang a song, a new song, before the throne and before the four living creatures and the elders. No one could learn the song except the 144,000 who had been redeemed, except the 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. These are those who did not defile themselves with women, for they kept themselves pure. They follow the Lamb wherever he goes. They were purchased from among men. They were purchased from among men and offered as first fruits to God and the Lamb. No lie was found in their mouths, and they are blameless. Read it again. They were purchased from among men and offered as first fruits to God and the Lamb. No lie was found in their mouth. They are blameless. I love you. Have a beautiful day.
You know what I was just thinking about? If I'm being so real, the American government, black people, I'm gonna be everywhere, because this video, I refilmed this video 3 times because it was completely different subjects that kept like stemming to different things. The way like America should have no like authority over black people at all. Like, black people should actually have full immunity on this land. We're not even supposed to be here. The first point that stemmed this whole stream of consciousness was, I was thinking about like race, ethnicity, nationality. I don't really know what it stemmed from, but I was just like technically I'm not even an American. I'm just I'm an American, but by force. I'm actually a descendant of displaced Africans. Like, black is my culture, and I'm just a descendant of displaced Africans. Like, I quite literally am not supposed to be over here. White people literally stole my ancestors, and then to do their bidding in a land that wasn't even theirs. Can you imagine being hired to completely gut and like rebuild a house, and you find out that the person who the person who held a gun to your head and told you to gut and fix up this house, or you literally fucking die. Oh, this isn't their house. Like, the owners of the house are literally tied up in the basement while you're literally fixing up the house. Because then, after that branched off into how racist white people are always trying to justify colonization by saying every nation was colonized, every country was colonized, everybody had slaves. True, but then that's when I was thinking about the fact that, like, wait a minute, usually what happens is the colonizer colonizes and enslaves the native people, and like they go somewhere and they stay there. No. White people want to be an anomaly. White people said, let's play GTA real quick, clear the land, but first, how do you make corn? Got it. Boom. Mind you, while we were on this excursion to this location, we noticed that there was another continent with some really dark people who like kind of look like humans, but they don't have this white skin. So we're just gonna assume they're animals. Even though they also have like their own like speech like humans, and they kind of have their own like governing society like humans, but they're not white, so they must just be like some really intelligent animals. Let's actually go get those people and bring them all the way over here and make them build us a nation. Which, by the way, why are white people obsessed with cosplaying a nation? Burning Man and Israel, actually. Wait, that's actually clear. Why are white people obsessed with cosplaying a nation? But anyways, going back to my first point, like, black people should quite literally have full fucking immunity in this country. Black people and Native Americans should have full immunity in this country. Like the white people in office shouldn't be able to tell a police officer should not be able to pull over a black person. Like that should actually be illegal. And then racist white person is going to hear this video and be like, oh, so you just think black people and Native Americans should be above the law in this country? Yes, fully and completely. In fact, take it one step further. Black people and Native Americans and Asian Americans, actually, because I remember you stole them to build the railways too. Black people, Native Americans, and Asian Americans should actually just be able to exist on this land completely free. And when I say completely free, don't pay taxes, don't pay for food, don't pay for housing. They should literally just be able to find a house and walk up in that bitch. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Does this song sound familiar to you? Because it sounds familiar to me.
The reasons why a lot of people do not like Black American people because we're not ashamed of ourselves. And people feel like we should feel ashamed, and we really don't. So when I see people and they're having certain conversations about us, it's like, okay, so what you want us to do? Y'all thought that we wasn't going to be as patriotic, didn't you? Y'all thought that we wasn't going to put our lineage first, didn't you? Well, newsflash. That's the most patriotic thing you can do, is exalt yourself in your homeland and fight when things are not the way that they should be, right? Whereas a lot of people, they won't even go to their own homelands and do that. So what y'all wanted us to do is hate being Black American, foundational Black American people, so that way you can creep in and then claim something, right? And then have your own things at home. No, this is our home. So yes, we're going to speak up. We're going to say something. And no, we don't have to always come outside to do certain things. We don't always have to. We're going to move in a certain way. It's lineage and it's spiritual. And that's something that y'all are not connected to. Even if you try to genetically mix with Black American people, it's something within our lineage where we're all going to move in sync. And so, yes, I'm so proud to see foundational Black American people being as loud, as patriotic, right? We've always been like this, though. Just this go around, it's delineation. It's specifying our own lineage, right? And I'm cool with that. We're all cool with that. So yes, we're going to see a lot of backlash. We're going to see a lot of people whining and crying and kicking because we're saying, yes, this is who we are. We know who we are.
It's interesting how this country has no problem not forgetting the Holocaust. It's interesting that we have no problem to make sure we don't forget Pearl Harbor. There's a monument there in Hawaii now, Pearl Harbor, that shows the people that lives were lost. Almost 3,000 people died Pearl Harbor, 3,000 people September 11th. We won't forget the Holocaust. We won't forget Pearl Harbor. We won't forget September 11th. But when it comes to Black people in slavery, just erase that from the books. Don't teach that, because when you think about the millions of Jews that were killed, the transatlantic slave trade far exceeds what happened. But because of hatred and because we have been asleep at the wheel, that's a complete erasure, an attempt to erase who we are.
Black American delineation has nothing to do with anti-African, anti-Caribbean, or anti-other black nations. It's about preserving culture, preserving inheritance, setting aside a particular group so that they are not forgotten. They don't want their ancestors, the sacrifice of their ancestors. They don't want the sacrifice of their people to be forgotten. You say that they don't have culture. You say that they don't have identity. And when they decide to set themselves apart, you say that they shouldn't. And no other culture is expected to absorb everybody else except Black Americans. You don't go to Jamaica and say, you got to accept us as Jamaican. You don't go to Haiti and say, you got to accept us as Haitian. Everybody else can have their identity. But when it comes to Black Americans wanting to set themselves apart, you say, oh no, you guys you're xenophobic, you're Zionist. No, stop gaslighting them. Are there some extremists? Yes. But that doesn't represent the whole group. It's important that this group is set aside because they do have an inheritance. They have a special tie to this land and a special history to this land, and they deserve that observation.
This is mile marker I-14A, and it says Free Blacks of Israel Hill. Just to the west lies Israel Hill, settled in 1810 to 1811 by approximately 90 former enslaved persons who received freedom and 350 acres from Judith Randolph under the will of her husband, Richard Randolph, cousin of Thomas Jefferson. These Israelites and other free African Americans worked as farmers, craftspeople, and Appomattox River boatmen. Some labored alongside whites for equal wages and defended their rights in court. The family early settler Hercules White bought and sold real estate in Farmville and joined with white citizens to found the town's first Baptist church in 1836. Israel Hill remained a vigorous black community into the 20th century. See, it says these Israelites, and other free African Americans.
So as a Gentile, I'm here to profess, black people, you are Israelites, you are the chosen ones, you are a prestigious people. Your history is in the Bible. In order to better understand why you are Israelites, I'm going to bring forward two witnesses from Deuteronomy 28. And if you're not familiar with it, Deuteronomy 28 outlines the curses of the Israelites for not hearkening unto the voice of the Lord. Now I'll bring forth my first witness from Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So because you didn't keep your end of the covenant, follow the law, statutes, and commandments, you've been cursed. Let's take a look at one of those curses and see if it applies. Deuteronomy 28:66 reads, And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life. Now, I don't know about you, I live in America. Black people have no assurance of their life, and it's because you're Israelite.
Okay, I'm gonna try to explain this. So clearly that was offensive as all hell, but let me go deep. All my life, my mother told me that we were Cherokee, that specifically that my great-grandmother on my mother's side was Cherokee, to the degree that sometimes if people asked her about her race, ethnicity, she would say that she was both black and Native American. And I always thought, well, by the time you get to me, the amount that's there is so insignificant it wouldn't matter. Then I was listening to what I think was an episode of the podcast Code Switch, if I remember correctly, in which there was a sort of similar unproven mystery lineage, right? And this black man goes, and he went to city records and stuff, and he went to track down his family to find out that his great whatever was not from where his family had said they were. And out of curiosity, I went and I did my ancestry as well, and not a lick of Native American, right? But I found out that I'm nearly like 20% white from like a mix of things. And the point of that episode of the podcast was basically what you can find in a lot of history of African Americans is that people sort of often created this sort of mystery family lineage to explain the lightness in their skin or the mixed aspects, because a lot of the real options comes down to the how do I say this, the non-consensual acts between enslavers and the enslaved. And it's just a lot easier for a lot of African American people to reconcile the idea that maybe somewhere in their family lineage was someone who was Native American from one of the tribes, rather than that like a white person had RAPE'd someone in their family. It doesn't make what this person did any less like cringe and disrespectful, but there's kind of a long-standing history of this like multi-generational lie.
What y'all mean y'all thought we were immigrants? You mean to tell me that the rest of the world does not know that the transatlantic slave trade happened? About motherfucking chattel slavery? Y'all mean to tell me y'all thought we came here by will? So that's why y'all motherfuckers keep talking about black people are next, y'all are next, they're coming for you next. Bitch, they ain't never stopped coming for us since they brought us here. They brought us here to be their free labor workforce, and when we said, fuck y'all, we ain't doing this shit no more, that's when they started coming for us. And that took us a long while to get to where we were even free, Bookie. 1965 is when we got free for real. My ancestors here in Texas, that's why we celebrate June. Because see, when they signed that Emancipation Proclamation, Mr. Lincoln there did, my ancestors, Mrs., the white woman that owned some of my ancestors, said nope and skedaddled on down here to Texas, where they were still enslaving people. It's not like they just signed the Emancipation Proclamation and poof, slavery disappeared. That ain't how that worked. That's why these folk down here still rock the Confederate flag, because they think about the good old days. What do you think they mean by the good old days? The days when we was enslaved, bitch. We're not migrant. We were stolen from our ancestral lands, our ancestors, put on boats like sardines, mushed, laid up on top of each other, filled to the brim, in chains. Many did not make it. Many were thrown overboard, assaulted sexually, and unalived. Brought from Africa on over to South America, Central America, North America, the islands. That's how we got over here. Black Americans, anyways. That's why so many of us have mixed ancestry. We have multiple ethnic groups from Africa within our DNA, as well as European, as well as indigenous. Because baby, some of them Native Americans was enslaving us too. And we all know the history behind the Europeans having insatiable appetites for violence, both sexually and other physical types of violence. That's why a lot of us got that European DNA in us. Y'all really thought we were immigrants? Bitch, we were imports. We were human trafficked. So saying we're next, Black Americans are next, is crazy. Diabolical even. Because they ain't never stopped coming for us. Why do you think we were warning y'all? Huh?
But here's the one thing that the Native Americans did do right, that we did wrong. The Native Americans never wanted to be a part of America. They wanted a place in America. Yeah. You feel me? Black folks, we wanted to be a part of America. The Native Americans wanted a piece of America. In other words, they have a land set aside for them. Yeah. Still got the problems, but they still got their own land. We should have did that. We said, make me a citizen. I want the right to vote. You see that? Yeah. I want to participate in the white man's reality. The Native American said, I don't want to participate in your reality. I want my own. And so we need to start thinking about how do we take a piece of America for ourselves? Because I think it's very clear now, especially with this administration, you're never going to have a place in America. If anybody believed that the Constitution ran this country, this first year of Donald Trump's second term should have obliterated any false belief you have that this country is ran by the Constitution.
Okay, y'all, I'm about to work out because I need to get summertime fine, but this is going to be triggering for some of you guys. Some of you guys are already on this page. As a foundational Black American, it's time that we accepted that we're American. And I'm not going to lie, I had a hard time with this. I was very Pan-Africanist at one point. I felt like solidarity with brown and Black people. I'm Black American. Both my parents are Black American. I felt solidarity with Native Americans and Cubans and Jamaicans and Africans and Mexicans and everything. And I still do in my heart. However, what I found over the years is that the solidarity is not reciprocated. There's a lot of jealousy and outright racism and prejudices towards us. And a lot of people from other cultures are very, very indoctrinated white supremacy. I don't know why, even though we have our own issues, as we know as FBAs, we still know who our enemy is, and we know that our issues come from that group of people. Other people are still confused and want to be down. So they're jealous of us in a lot of ways because we have citizenship, because we are citizens, because we are in this country, and even our poorest people are doing better than a lot of people in other countries. But we earned that. We were slaves, and we went through 400 years of just horrible torture and just disgustingness and Jim Crow, and we're still not where we deserve to be. But all of that said, we're Americans, like it or not. We have African roots. We're from West Africa. I think we all, I know y'all gonna be like, we've always been American. There's been some Africans that were here, but a lot of us are from West Africa. Majority of us are from West Africa. And that's fine. I'm okay with being from West Africa. You can say, oh, we're Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, but they were still from West Africa. So I have no issues with being part of Africa, and you shouldn't either. That being said, though, we need to divest from trying to connect with these groups who don't really want us to connect with them unless we're producing American dollars as a whole. Some are cool as hell, but most of them are not. And we need to think of ourselves as Americans and push our own agenda as Americans. Stop extending our American benefits to everybody else who would never do the same in return, because we don't have enough power to squander our resources in unrequited love for other cultures and people. We have to build ourselves up first. And we can do that by understanding we're American.
They want black people to fight and die for this country.
I see a lot of people be talking shit about America. If you don't like America, go to another country, bitch. I love this country. I'll protect this bitch.
And I think about the propaganda we've got over the past from a couple years, whether it's the Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar performances, whether it's Captain America being black now, whether it's the black people who raised their hand in support of G-Side, whether it's the standing of Kamala Harris, the Democratic Party wanting to focus on more patriotism. It's the black man, Michael Langley, who is leading the charge for American imperialism in Africa. Whether it's making Juneteenth a national holiday, you can see so clearly that America's intentions with black people is to get them to have a nationalistic perspective, to see that we are America, and then on the flip side, be the faces of American imperialism. Then you look at military recruitment centers and how they are disproportionately in low-income areas with black people and minorities. America wants black people to be patriots, because patriots fight and die for their country. Who better to be that face than black people? The very people that have been oppressed by America, and that the very people that other countries have pointed out as America tries to say that we are so great, but it's like, look how you treat black people. Who better to be the face of American imperialism than black people?
I am so sick and tired of this chip that you're carrying on your shoulder. We have bent over backwards. We have done backflips to make you feel equal. And yet, we've done everything. Perfect example is in the federal government. If you and I get the exact same rating for a position, do you know what? You get it. And do you know why? Because you're black. Is that fair? Is that fair to me?
There is a woeful lack of understanding, not only in the black community, but really in the white community, of why black people are in the condition that we're in, and why all of the efforts that whites have made and government has made to try to solve the problem in the way that government sees fit has not really worked. And blacks are still crying out for more and more and more. And I realize that this is an irritant to white people because you really don't understand. And it's not really your fault. It's not really your fault. You just don't understand. But I think if you gave yourself a chance to hear what happened to these black people that makes them as they are as an irritant to you and those who think you have done the best you could. And maybe you have, but I respectfully suggest to you that there's so much more that could be done, that should be done, and that must be done if America is to survive. Believe me.
To the foundational blacks, if you want to be technically correct, you are foundational Americans. Black comes from the United States, and the United States themselves with the 14th Amendment said all of those that we enslaved were born here before the United States was formed. So the 14th Amendment is telling you that you are foundationally American. They put that black terminology on you when they made their census in 1790. That is not when your story starts. Your story starts in 1682, before the United States was even formed to call you black. And those who they were enslaving in 1682, per the Virginia law, are North Africans and North American Indians. So that has to be the same people freed, because Dred Scott was born into slavery. The 14th Amendment overturned the law that you could be born into slavery from 1682. You are foundationally American. The United States made you low-classly black.
Welcome back, Black Americans. Now, I want to end by saying this. Don't ever let them make you feel like a guest in your own home. It's not acceptable. Your ancestors didn't just survive, they built this land with their bare hands. And now it's your time to take ownership, spiritually, economically, and generationally. Because when God restores his people, he doesn't make them visitors. He makes them hosts. This is Beejay reminding you, the table is already yours. It's time to take your seats. Please, go take your seats now. Please take it now while we're here. Want to see this? Take your seats now. Stop walking as if you're scared of people. Or you're scared of what they're going to say or how they're going to treat you. It's time to take charge. It's time to take authority. Please, I'm begging you, please. I'm begging you, please. If you're in agreement, let me say it in the comment section. Or if you want to tell me what is making or hindering you not to take your positions in that country, I want to see in the comment section. Do not forget, my name is Blessing, or Beejay on Global Just Beejay. I'll see you next time. Keep subscribing, like, share, and turn on your notification button. I love you so much.